So I'm going to read out some Wikipedia. This is manufactured by a company called Republic, and the P-47 Thunderbolt was made between 1941 to 1945. Over 15,000 of them were made. It had a length of 11 meters, a wingspan of 12.4. It was run by an 18-cylinder radial engine making around 2,000 horsepower, so the thing could get up to 686 kilometers per hour. It fought on both fronts, the Western Front and the Eastern Front, and it flew for many countries. It was a high-altitude fighter, a fighter-bomber, and also a ground attack bomber. It had 8 50 caliber machine guns, so I think it had 4 on each side, although this model seems to show 6 guns. Let's see, it could carry 5-inch rockets or a bomb load of 2,500 pounds or 1,100 kilos, which is like the weight of a light car. Okay, so when fully loaded, it weighed up to 8 tons, making it one of the heaviest fighters in the war. But it was also a very strong fighter, so meaning it had a lot of armor and protection. It could take a beating, and so that's why the modern-day A-10 is called the Thunderbolt II, in homage to this Thunderbolt, because it's such a durable airplane. Okay, well, going into the packaging, not too much. Nice little illustration, of course. It shows you this thing here, and that's it. Putting it together is really easy, by the way. It's only that many parts, and they fit generally well, except for the wing seam. I had to put in some putty. It was too gappy, so the wing seam might be problematic. And then it does give you 2 sets of decals to do both liveries, but I was just lazy and went with the silver one instead of this double navy kind of thing. But you'll notice this decal, this striping, it's a very wide decal, and the thing is an egg shape. So I tried to put it on, and it just had so many wrinkles, and I put a bunch of super strong marks, Tamiya mark setting stuff, and it just wouldn't work. So I ended up just peeling it off. I just got rid of it entirely. I don't know of a better way they could have done it. It's just a big graphic, and it's really hard to wrap such a wide graphic around something the shape of an egg. So yeah, be mindful of that. So decal wise, it might be easier to just go with that livery, but you're gonna have to put the effort into painting the belly a separate color from the top. Now that I know this, maybe I would have done the other way, but for me, I just always envisioned this thing as a raw aluminum body, which, that's what these images are. And so it turns out this livery is a real plane. It's at the Hill Aerospace Museum. I've never heard of it, but it is there. And you can see it's got this giant crazy skull and bones, and this shrunken down, the eagle and the kill marks. So it actually had a lot of kills, apparently, against Germany. So it must have flown in, obviously in Europe. Alright, so that's kind of neat to learn. I guess that's we can get into the actual model now. Alright, so I only wish they had more panel details. Like, you can see them clearly on the wings, right? But why wouldn't the fuselage have some sort of grooves, right? It just literally looks like an egg. They're taking it a little too seriously, I think. I would prefer to have a bunch of panel lines here. It's just odd. Anyways, you can see some of the fluid left over from putting the decals on. I didn't even bother wiping it off, because the last time I did that on my SR-71, I literally tore the decal, so I'm just going to count that for wear and tear on an airplane. As you can see, that spin's not an issue. I painted this aluminum, and then I have some AK Interactive engine wash over it. Let's see here. Alright, so I painted this yellow, of course, and hand painted the black. That was simple enough. I didn't know what to do with all these vents. I didn't research it. Like, I don't even know what this is, but it's a huge box sticking out the side. And even looking at the real photos, I still don't know what it is. So I don't know if there's supposed to be color back here or not. Anyways, this wheel is part of the one half of this shell. There's the seam line you can see. So you're going to have to hand paint that. And then these are separate pieces, pleasantly, but they're kind of, the tires aren't really, the axle isn't going into the wheel very much, so maybe I should paint the guns black. Yeah, maybe I'll do that later. Okay, I think it came with decals for the propeller tips, but there's always that extra bit of decal, so it was just easier just to paint it with a paintbrush and paint. It looks better, and it will never peel off. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's it. The cockpit, you know, the seat is so small, you really can't get much of a character in there. There's a decal. Hopefully you can see if I zoom in. Yeah, you can see the instruments decal there. But yeah, I kind of wish the cockpit was bigger. If you got rid of the seat, you might be able to fit like some sort of character in there, but I wasn't thinking. So yeah, I guess this one will never have a pilot. It also asked for the decal to be way out to the tip. I don't know why. There may have... I also don't know why there's no text here. I don't know. I don't see it on the real photos either. It's weird. There's nothing saying Navy or U.S. Air Force. Alright, well, it was early times. So, anyways, comparing to some other things. So first thing is the Top Gun Chen A10. So Top Gun Chen, you can get these model kits off eBay or painted models as well. They're bigger models because they actually have these cool little cartoon figures with magnetic heads so you could rotate the head around. So it's a sacrifice, you know, you have to have a bigger model. But look at this thing, it is awesome. It is so cool. So the Thunderbolt 2 was named after the Thunderbolt, of course. So interesting to see evolution of airplanes in deformed shape. I'm going to take this out of the way because I have to put this on my little 3D printed flight stand because the other airplanes already are on flight stands. Alright, so it could have fought the Mitsubishi Zero in the Pacific Theater. Right, so this is Hasegawa as well. They both look like eggs with wings. I feel like both of the wings are very wide, unnecessarily so. In fact, this one's like almost 13.5 centimeters wide, whereas this one is, yeah, around 12, almost 13 centimeters wide. If you're going to do a G-form thing, I almost feel like the wings could be half as wide and look even goofier, right? But that's just me. So there's a different brand that actually, to me, makes superior models. It's called Tiger. And so they would have fought these planes in Germany or Europe. This is the BF-109. And so you can see all the panel gaps in the fuselage, right? Just all these details. Hasegawa should have done that, right? This is just superior. Also, the cockpit is superior in the fact that the window recesses are much more pronounced. So you can paint the cockpit, mask it off easier. Same with this one. The cockpit is just easier to paint. Whereas it's really hard to get paint on these cockpits of Hasegawa because the definition isn't great enough. Like the difference between what's supposed to be painted and what's not. So you can clearly see there's a different deformation going on because these are just regular deformation. These are literally supposed to look like eggplanes, and hence the series, right? It's interesting. I mean, I guess I like them, but I prefer the look of just a regular deformed thing myself. Yeah, it's really weird to have an airplane with no pilot, other than it being on the ground. So, I know other Hasegawa eggplanes do have pilots, it's just this one doesn't, so just be mindful of that. But otherwise, it's definitely a really funny looking airplane, right? It is definitely funny looking. So, okay, so I'm still happy that I have it. Alright, well, we'll see you the next time I do an eggplane. Thanks for watching. Egging out.